First of all, we'll start with conveyancing and legal writings. The expression conveyancing is of English origin, which means transfer of any subjects between legal persons. Now, the questions will arise: what is conveyancing and who are living persons? Conveyancing is an art of drafting deeds and documents whereby any right, title, or interest in an immovable property is transferred. Generally speaking, conveyancing is an art or practice of drawing up deeds and various other legal writings for transferring title of any subjects. Second part is from one person to another. Such may be natural or artificial. Now, who are living persons? It can be classified into two groups. Natural person, that means human being. We all are human beings and we are all nature persons. And second group is artificial persons. That means any entity established by law and given at least some rights and duties of a human being. Any corporations are the most common types of artificial persons. For example, company, farm, Bangladesh Bar Council, etc. For this purpose, you should remember any entity created by law. That means must be registered under law. Now, for example, partnership business. If we discuss law relating partnership business, we will see that it is not mandatory to register any partnership business. It depends on the partner whether they will register their business or not. Now the question will arise whether unregistered partnership business has any legal entity or are they artificial person? The answer will be no, because unless or until any business or corporation is created by law or is registered under any specific law, that business or corporation cannot be considered as an artificial person. Therefore, a corporation or a business will be considered as artificial person or legal person and will get legal personality if and only if those corporations or business are created by law and recognized as a legal entity having distinct identity, legal personality, and have some legal rights and duties as a human being. In the present world, the scope of conveyancing has become very wide and extensive in use. An advantage to different fields of business, profession, and industries. Document is now a legal task and not verily a technical work. Different types of deeds require knowledge of different types of law on which those deeds are based. Therefore, conveyancing consists of certain specific clauses of documents. For example, sale deed, mortgage, deed of gift, exchange lease, wills, deed of settlement, deed of trust, bonds, different types of contract, commercial documents, deed of partnership and dissolution, etc. Legal instruments provide uniformity and certainty to the administration of justice. The uniformity and certainty of law add to the happiness and convenience of the people. The rules and regulations provide or make smooth path to drive with relative safety. Without these rules as legal instruments, it would have been impossible for people to do their business without any complications. Society is becoming more and more complicated every day, and without the existence of an elaborate system of legal instrument, it is not possible to live in society by getting justice. Legal writings or documents have its own strength for protecting human rights, resolving dispute and establishing a peaceful society, and it will defend everyone to get their proper judgment. Legal drafting creates binding legal text. It includes enacted terms and conditions or rules and regulations for different situations, for example, contracts, private, public, personal legal documents like wills and trusts, and public legal documents like notice and instructions. Legal instrument is a legal term of art that is used for any formally executed written document that can be formally attributed to its author, records, and formally expresses a legally enforceable act, process, or contractual duty, obligation, or right, and therefore evidence that act, process, or agreement. Examples include a certificate, deed, bond, contract, will, legislative act, court writ, etc. In the ancient times of England, the deed writing was optional and continued to remain optional until the time of King Charles II. Writing was required only in the matters of great importance. During the time of King Charles II, British Parliament enacted a legislation in 1677 requiring writing for creation and transfer of interest in land property. Conveyancing has never been practiced as an art in British India. In India, the forms of conveyancing are based on English form. Though in the ancient time there was no legislation even been passed on the law of conveyancing. Few words, Jaigidar, Charpatra, etc., are indicating from ancient day in the Indian literature. From the legislation of English, India enacted two forms of conveyancing is based on the Conveyancing of Land Act 1845 and the Law of Property Act 1925. These are the present form of conveyancing. Therefore, By considering the historical perspective, it can argue, as in England and so in India, there are two types of deed. First one is deed pool. The deed pool is a document which is executed unilaterally in the first person. A deed pool is a legal document, not a certificate. It is a form of legal contract and legally binding on the person who signs it to a particular course of action as detailed on the deed pool document. For example, the correct legal name for a deed that has been drawn up to change someone's name in a deed of change of name, that is notary. Second one is indenture, means bilateral or multilateral deeds. It is a form of legal contract between two or more parties and not only concerns for one person. In the context of real property, it refers to a type of real property deed in which two parties agreed to continue mutual obligations. For example, one party may agree to maintain the property, which the other party agrees to make periodical payments. For example, mortgage, lease, etc. In the next video, we will learn what are the basic principles of drafting and why it is necessary. There are few basic principles. For example, expression, design of the drafting, precision of language, and communicability of the intention. After that, we will learn what are the essential elements of a deed or a legal document or a legal instrument. We will start with the non-operative part, that is description, date of the deed, and parties of the deed or any legal instrument or any legal document. Thank you. That's all for today. Hopefully very soon we will meet by Google Classroom as consultation hour. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me on consultation hour. Thank you. We will meet very soon. Thank you.